we are, from birth, taught that men are actually the centers of our universe.
Women generally have been taught to center men in their lives, generally, right? But today's video, we are talking about women, African women specifically. Yes, all women have been taught to center men in their lives. But you see, African women, I feel like our own is worse. And I can say that because I am an African woman. I am in Africa currently. I'm in Nigeria. And I will tell you for facts that we women in Africa, we put men first. So far, the man in your life is happy. So far, the man in your life wants you to unalive yourself to that point and to make him happy. African woman, we're going to do it. African women fight themselves because of a man. I know other women out that's not African also do it, but I'm telling you, it's like a normal thing. If a man is doing something wrong to an African woman, they will blame the woman. Nobody's going to question the man because why should you question him? African women have been taught, like, I don't know how to put it, but I feel like the way they planted that seed in African women is rare for you to see an African woman that will stand up and tell you, I have decenter men or I am decentering men. Because if you're decentering men, it looks like you're not okay. Something is off, or you're going through a path that does not make sense. Anyway, I saw a video of this African woman talking about decentering men for African women. That is very difficult for us. And because that is what we've been taught, to center men in our lives, to make sure men are okay before us and all of that. Let me roll the video for you all to watch, then we'll come back and talk about it.
So I've been listening to conversations about decentering men that have been happening on social media on various platforms. And I just thought of how, as African women, I don't know about other cultures, but I know definitely as African women throughout the continent, I think I can generalize when I say that we are, from birth, taught that men are actually the centers of our universe. And everything that we do, everything that we are taught to focus on is centered around our relationship with men and our future interactions with men. We are taught to cook so that we are able to cook for men. We are taught to clean homes so that we can be wives. We are taught to be humble and respectful so that we can respect our husbands. And there is very little, if any, in our culture that is done to prepare us to make ourselves a priority. So we actually grow up believing that we come second in everything that we do. We are brought up serving our siblings, our brothers, as a sort of a practice that we did for how we would be wives in the future. And so that is generally how we as African women were conditioned to put ourselves second and to never prioritize ourselves. Now, on the flip side, our brothers were brought up to believe that they were the priority, they were the leader, they were the head. This was regardless of whether they were little boys or whether they were grown-up adults, but they always maintained a level of superiority over the females of the family. So the time, basically, there is no better time than now for women to take the decision to decentralize men and to put themselves as a priority, because men are rarely ever taught or conditioned in any way to prioritize women. And men will always prioritize themselves. Men will always do the things that are satisfactory to their own comfort and their own joy. And as women, we, from our cultural perspective, from our religious perspective, are basically conditioned to go along with whatever it is that men want. So this also comes with the whole women must submit regardless. So it doesn't matter whether what a man is doing is for our benefit or not. We are taught that we have to submit. And it is this type of thing that I think has led to a lot of the issues that women experience. Things like having children for men, but then realizing later on that the men actually do not love them, and that it is this easy for a man to up and walk away from you and the child that you created for him. And it also has affected women's relationships with each other because our conditioning also conditioned us to compete amongst each other because we have the seed of pick meism makes us compete with each other, and it is because of this inherent need for us to have the attention of men. So in everything that we do, we always have to be shining. We always have to be visible. We always have to seem like the most perfect person, the most womanly, feminine, everything type of woman, so that we look like the ultimate type of women for men. And this is generally why women cannot have good relationships with each other and cannot coexist with each other. The more women are able to decenter men, the more women are able to have better, genuine, more organic relationships with each other that are not based on our need to outshine each other for men. Women competing with each other for men, the funny thing with that is that I think we can compare it to two grocery stores that are competing for a customer. And these grocery stores go through the greatest lengths to make themselves the best option for the customer. These grocery stores will make sure that they have the best looking shelves, the widest aisles, the best variety of stock. They will cut their prices. They will give free gifts. They will hold competitions and all sorts of things to attract the customer. At the end of the day, the one that benefits the most in all of this is the customer. And you know what the customer does? The customer might just decide that actually he doesn't like any of those two grocery stores and they're going to the third grocery store. And so this is what I feel that when women compete for men is the same as that, because at the end of the day, we are going all out to put our best foot forward, to make our best efforts to attract somebody who at the end of the day is the one who benefits from both of our efforts, or three of us or four of us or whatever. He benefits from all of our efforts. And at the end of the day, only one person is going to get that ban. And the rest of us, we are going to be in heartbreak city. This is why, as women and as mothers, we need to make sure that from childhood, when we are raising our daughters, that we are raising them to make decisions that are also for their own benefit, for their own comfort, and for their own joy, not for the sake of somebody else. My child must learn to cook because she is going to be an adult one day and she will need to be able to feed herself. She must learn to keep a clean house because we need to live in clean environments. She must get herself educated so that she is financially independent and is always able to look after herself no matter what. So it is that kind of decentering that as African women, even though we are in 2024 and we have all these opportunities for education and jobs and careers, we still have that inherent or that conditioned pick meism that makes us feel that we still need to do things for the sake of men. And I'm not saying that if that is your wish and that is what you want to do and that is what makes you happy, then by all means go ahead. But I'm saying that at some point, women need to make the decision to put themselves first. Women need to make the decision to prioritize themselves and to decenter men.
The fact that we were taught to put men first, the men were taught that they must always be above us, no matter what, regardless who they are, regardless what they have, regardless where they are. They believe that they are always above us. In an household, for example, they have three boys and a girl, even though the girl is the first child and the boys came after her. She will serve those boys. Like, it's a normal thing. She's going to make sure they are okay. She's going to make sure they have eaten. They might not even do any dishes. They might not even clean the house. And if the mom comes home and find out that the house is untidy, it is the first child. That is the girl that is going to, yeah, what? Okay. But the thing is, if it was the man that was, a boy was the first child, then a girl was the last child, the situation does not change. It's not like, okay, now that the boy is the first child, he must make sure the whole house. Oh, you as the girl, you must serve your brothers, serve your father, serve your husband. You must serve men. You must serve men. Men are priority. Men are always important in society for us African women. And as I said earlier, African women will fight themselves. They will fight themselves not because of anything, but because of a man. African women will hate themselves. They will go into deep spiritualism just to attack their fellow women because of a man. An African woman will sacrifice anything in her life just to keep a man. It is that deep for us because it is so deep that if you're telling if you're as an African woman and you're telling another fellow African woman that you're decentering men, they don't get it. They're like, what? How is it possible for you to decenter men? Especially African women living in Africa. It is really difficult for them to decenter men. There are a lot of settings that goes on in African tradition that a woman is not allowed. There are a lot of things that women don't stay in front. They will always be behind. It, like the whole setting, the whole society, the whole thing, they always make sure a woman is behind, a woman is below, no matter who you are. And as a woman, if you don't have a man, they see you as you've not made it in life. You're just wasting your time. There's a certain age they start looking at you as a girl and start telling you, okay, where is your boyfriend? When are you getting married? Everything they tell you is for a man, to make sure a man is happy, to make sure you're pleasing a man. Even if you're ready to get married to that same man, they will make sure that whatever it does, you should not worry. Just be patient because you must make sure that your man is happy. You must make sure that you satisfy and you please this man regardless. They always educate women to please men, but they never educate men to please women. Women, African women have always centered themselves so much to make a man happy, they put their interest behind. I think that's what was part of it. You put your interest, but it's something that doesn't suit you, something that you don't like, something that makes you sad, makes you cry, you will do it just because it makes your man happy. And you know the crazy part of it, even if you're doing something like that and just to sacrifice, sacrificial love and all of that for your man, and they appreciate it and they hold you tight, they do not cheat on you, they do not do something bad to you, probably will not be talking about the century men. But no matter what you do to keep a man, they are not kept. They do whatever they want to do, no matter what you do. And do you know the crazy part? African men were not taught to center women around their lives. A man will not center you as a woman. He picks his friend, he picks his hobby, he picks his work over you. A woman will leave her job, a woman will leave her family, a woman will travel, leave her friends that she knows before you, just to make sure that she she's with you, or you're happy or something. A woman will do anything to please a man. That is the mentality That is how it has been going on. And that is what our parents keep telling us. Make sure that you learn how to cook for your man. Not because of you, so that you survive when you're at a certain age. For a man. Make sure you know how to take care of a home for a man. If you're married and anybody comes to your house is scattered, they are always looking at the woman. Why is the house not kept? Like anything that happens is always a woman's fault. Whatever a woman does is just to make their man happy. And this is really sad because this is very rampant in African women. Like it is so rampant. We're going to do a lot of videos about African women that center their lives around men. You see how they do, you see how, I don't even know how to explain it, but it's just crazy. If you're an African woman and you're watching this video, how is it like decentering men? If you're started decentering men, how is it like decentering men? How do you think it's possible for most African women to decenter men? I do not see the possibility. I feel like seeing African women decentering men is gonna be like, yes, I don't know. I feel like it's gonna take a lot of time, a lot of unlearning, a lot of, you have to sit down and think first before you can start decentering men and understand what is going on, because it's going to be difficult for us, especially the African woman still in Africa. It is difficult for you to decenter men. Anyways, what is your take on this video? Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section. Chogel Mara David, and thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this one. Please like, share, and subscribe. And yeah, I'll see you in my next video. Bye.